Your question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question is to the Treasurer. Treasurer, the major issue that everyday Territorians in my electorate of Johnston come to me with is housing and the inability to find a safe place to live, including an affordable rental. Given almost half the Territory's population rents privately or through social housing, how does this budget address the urgent need for rental and social housing and meaningfully reduce cost of living pressure for renters? And I'm not talking about swimming lessons, I'm talking about being able to find an affordable place to live.
Treasurer.
He wouldn't know, he's out.
Thank you,
Member
Madam
for
Speaker.
Daly,
And look,
stop.
I haven't even started talking and the member for Daly is already interjecting. He can't help himself. But Madam Speaker, I'll answer the question for the member for Johnston as best I can. We're investing in the housing program right across the Territory, and a lot of that housing is in remote and regional areas. And that housing program, in conjunction with the Commonwealth Government, is rolling out to help those regions. But we're also investing some money into HAF Round 3 across the board. Now, we're looking at some projects here specifically in the top end. They're not in this budget, in these budget papers as we speak, but we're certainly looking at how we can do those and roll them out in partnership with industry, because we certainly understand that there is a need for more housing. Rental markets are certainly tight here in Darwin, and I know in my hometown of Alice Springs, rental markets are extremely tight. And we're rolling out some HAF housing at St Mary's there to try and provide that additional housing and provide that additional rental market need. And in specifically for Central Australia, we're also looking at Barclay too, and I've mentioned this in Parliament, is that we do have some beyond economic repair housing stock that belongs to Territory Government, and we're looking to get that back in the marketplace to give that, let industry purchase those houses with specific caveats to get that back into the marketplace, whether as a sale or a rental, because we know that housing is tight. So we're certainly looking at what we're going to do here in the top end. I know that Minister Edgington, through his community housing, is doing quite a lot of work in that social housing space to make sure that we've got properties available. But there's also a larger piece of work that's happening in Darwin, and that is the land release work that we're doing. There's that investment we've put into Holtz to release additional blocks out there, making it easier for people to build and purchase their own homes. And of course, once we deal with supply, that will reduce the demand. So what we're trying to do is increase supply through land release and new homes into the market. And of course, that then deals with that demand piece and increases rentals. So we've, particularly for Alice Springs, and I always like to talk about what's happening down there, there's been 70 houses that were out of the marketplace that I must thank Minister Edgington. His team have got them back into the market, and we've got people back living in those homes. So that's 70 repaired houses and 70 families and people back into homes, trying to address and alleviate the issues we see with housing. But we're certainly, Member for Johnston, working on stuff here in the top end to provide that additional housing.